Welcome to the 24th floor. I'm Richard Denson. We've got a packed show today, so let's get it cracking. As we talk about all the time, Memphis is a basketball city. So once again, we start things with hoops, but not the Grizzlies or the Tigers. Now, a few months ago, we welcomed LeMoyne-Owen's new athletic director to the 24th floor to talk about the vision for the department. Well, we're continuing that conversation by welcoming the man leading the Magicians on the hardwood after taking a team pick to finish near the bottom of the SEAC and guiding it to 13 wins in conference, a conference tournament victory in the program's best year in several seasons. Head coach Faragi Phillips joins us now. Coach, welcome to the 24th floor, my guy. I'm glad to finally have you on.
Thank you.
We're trying to get you on for the tourney, but we know you how locked in you are with
recruiting and getting guys, acclimated to getting on campus this week. And so it's been kind of busy, but, man, I'm thankful to be on. Thank you for having me and inviting me to come on with you.
Absolutely. And like I told you before we started rolling, I love the job that you're doing, especially a guy like yourself who has tested himself in the assistant coach ranks, coached under Jerry Stackhouse, NBA legend, Penny Hardaway, NBA legend at Memphis, to now lead your own program. And like we said, you guys were picked to finish near last in the conference and to turn it around and be one of the conference's best. Tell me about all of that, the whole turnaround for that.
I mean, I think the main thing for us going into last year, starting from the very bottom and building a foundation and a culture that we think will reflect in winning, I think the main thing that we kind of communicated with our players was sacrifice is going to be the big piece of what we're trying to do. Individually, we have to lose for the team to gain. And so, man, holistically, our players bought into it. And then we had some things that we didn't negotiate from. We were a program that is technique-driven and principle-guided. Everything we do is based on our techniques and what we want to do and our principles, and we don't waver from that. And we have a few non-negotiables that we don't give into. And so we had a bunch of guys, man, even from our administrative standpoint, that bought into what we were trying to establish and get accomplished. And so, it led to some success in our first year, something that we're really, really proud of, and we have a lot of momentum going into this year.
Something that I see a lot when reading about your program, and something that I noticed when I was talking to Mr. Smothers, is you all are about culture.
Yeah.
And for you, culture sometimes comes before basketball. Why is that a first priority?
I mean, culture is so much, we try to put a spin on culture as coaches. Culture for me is not so much what you enforce, it's what you allow. We are a program that has standards. There are certain things that we don't allow, certain things that we don't waver from. And so, and we understand that, hey, we're leaders of men. I've been around several guys who are great coaches and understand how to be a great basketball coach and lead programs. But at the end of the day, I think more so than anything, I'm a leader of men, and I don't take that for granted. And I'm thankful that the Lord has given me an opportunity to be in this position to be used as his vessel to lead young men.
Was there ever a moment during the season where you could start seeing the tide turn, where you're like, okay, this group is really starting to believe and buy in? Or was it you saw it coming straight out of training camp?
A little bit of both. We saw we had, some pieces in place that we could have some success, but I don't think we would envision winning 13 games in our conference and finishing in the top third of our conference and hosting a playoff game and winning that playoff game for the first time in several decades. I didn't think we would get that done, but, with the work that we put in over the course of the season, our trajectory started aspiring upwards, and we felt like we could do some really promising things. And so we were able to have some success in that regard, and, man, we're only getting started.
Now, if you look at your level with HBCU Division II, so many guys, especially in basketball, want instant gratification.
Yeah.
So they want to get their numbers up, especially since they're trying to get to that next spot. How was it for you as a coach, being in year one, getting guys to kind of like buy in and kind of sacrifice that instant gratification, be like, they're not just going to look for their own shot. You might have some guys be like, I want to get 20, I want to get 20.
Sure.
But guys, to have the season you all had, it took sacrifice. Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, coaches want winners.
Yeah.
Coaches don't want guys that feel like I got to take every shot, every trip down on offense. Coaches want winners because winners keep our jobs. And so that's been my spiel to our players. How can you affect winning? If you feel like you can only affect winning by scoring and putting the ball in the basket, you're not going to have no staying power in this game. And so we try to share with our guys, from a vantage point of us being at the high level for several years, me and one of my assistant coaches, that we know exactly what that looks like and we know what that commands on a daily basis. And so we've allowed our guys to understand and kind of walk in our shoes like, hey, your shot attempts, your offensive mindset, we love it, but at the same time, you have to be willing to understand I got to give a little bit more than I can get. And so our guys, man, bought into that very early. And one of our best players, who was not a starter at the beginning of the year, he's had an opportunity to get in the portal, which we encouraged him to do. And now he's at Drexel playing Division I basketball, and he benefited from it greatly.
I was just about to bring him up because you had that guy you were mentioning, Ladrikis Pittman, who is a Memphis native, by the way.
Question.
And you had a guy like him. You had Desmond Bratcher. Both of them earned conference recognition.
Right.
How rewarding is it to see that individual growth match the team's success?
Well, it's awesome, man, because in regards to Ladrikis, we saw every day how much work he put in. We saw his dedication to the craft. We saw his dedication to our team. We saw his commitment and unselfishness to our program from a leadership vantage point, and also obviously from his ability to play. And there's no better person deserving to have that opportunity than him, because he sacrificed so much of his game. And, very often in our recruiting process this spring, and then with our players that's coming back, I've been able to use him as an example, because he's a definite blueprint of what it takes to be able to get to that next level and benefit from it greatly.
I was just about to get to that. And when you talk about when you're recruiting, what's the pitch? So I guess you kind of can expound a little bit on that. If I'm a recruit, especially in Memphis, a Memphian,
for sure,
seeing Ladrikis, why should I come play for Faragi Phillips?
Well, you're going to get a Division I basketball experience at a D2 school. I like to say I came out of high school right to the SEC, and then I went from the SEC right to the University of Memphis. And so I didn't, thank God, I'm grateful for the opportunity to get to the college level, but I didn't go from HBCU, mid-major, JUCO, straight, to where I was able to get to Vandy. I went from high school straight to the SEC as a fairly brand new coach at the college level. And so I learned under great guys and great coaches like Stack and Penny. And so that's all I know, and that's all I'm going to do and provide for our kids that come and play for us, that take that chance with us and give us that opportunity of trust to know that exactly what we're selling, we're going to provide. And so we're going to provide you with a Division I basketball experience in everything that we do, from our preparation, from the time that we step on campus and how we carry ourselves with integrity and character. We have a strength and conditioning coach who's done a great job of getting our guys healthy and keeping them on the floor, because the best ability at the end of the day is availability.
Yes,
and so we've had strength and conditioning coach who's done a great job, as I've alluded to, and then our coaches, man, Coach Dyson, who's one of my assistants, who was with me at Memphis, and all we're going to do is provide them with a Division I basketball experience, and then it's going to be at a D2 institution, which is a great institution in itself.
Now, I talked about this with Dr. Smothers. We hear it all the time from Penny. We say it all the time on this show. This is a basketball city. With the Grizzlies, with the high school, and so it's a lot of basketball talent, you know it. And so how important is it for LeMoyne-Owen to keep some of that talent right here at home? Because we're already seeing with Penny, and with this year's team, it seems to have a little bit more of a Memphis talent. And you all obviously have shown that you can keep guys here in Memphis to play with Ladrikis and Desmond. How important is it for LeMoyne to keep that going for Memphians?
I mean, it's very important. At the end of the day, we're the only HBCU in Memphis. We're the only HBCU school in this city. And so that means a lot to us. And so we understand what that has to offer, but it also has some drawbacks, because we need help in funding. We need help with certain things that can provide us with certain resources that could be appealing to our young people around the city. But at the end of the day, they don't have to go several miles or several states away to get what we have to offer. We can do the things that they need to get to that next level, to help them be a better basketball player and to be a better man at the end of the day. And so they can have all of those things right here in Memphis at LeMoyne-Owen under our basketball program.
Because you kind of have a straight line approach with how you recruit, has that made it a little bit easier despite the transfer portal, or is it still, what are the challenges that you face on the recruiting trail with the transfer portal being what it is?
Well, I mean, for us personally, we don't have all the bells and whistles that other institutions have. We're in a competitive environment. We understand that. We don't have the facilities. We don't have certain things that other programs have, even in our conference, right? But what we do have is, again, and I can't stress it enough, you're going to get a Division I basketball experience at a D2 school, which is going to propel you and help you get to that level if the opportunity comes, and you'll be more than ready. And so, which leads me to the next point is, we need some help financially. We need some things that could be happening for us that could help us get, over certain hurdles that we face, and it's not something that we can't offer. Our people in this city who has an attachment to LeMoyne-Owen. We're asking for their help. We're asking for their financial contributions. And we need it because, again, we have a group of young people that are taking a chance with us and entrusting us with their ability. And so we want to come through as best as we can. And we don't have all the things that other schools have. But, man, we could give them the best type of gear. We can give them the best type of attire. We can give them the best type of things that we can control with the resources that we have that can offset some of the things right now that's beyond our reach.
Control what you can control. And what I love about when I did cover you all last year in that conference tournament was the crowd. Because even though, like you said, the facilities may not be the best or something like that, the fact that for a conference tournament game, the crowd showed out, it was loud in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was hectic,
For sure.
you know, in a good way, hectic
yeah.
in a good way. So it's there, we just need more of it. And like what I talked to Dr. Smothers about, I would love for one day for you all to be able to play in FedEx Forum.
For sure.
Who says FedEx Forum should only be for the Grizzlies and Tigers?
Plant that seed.
I need to see more purple and black in there,
seed.
exactly.
Plant
So
that
I
seed
love
for us.
what you're building. I love what Dr. Smothers is planning to build now that he's on board. And coming off of one of your best seasons, how do you make sure that wasn't the ceiling? And how do you keep growing from that? But that hopefully that's just the foundation.
I mean, I think culture helps you sustain, right? Culture helps you sustain. You know, we don't have things that we allow to happen in our culture and in our program that we have to come back 3 or 4 months from now to talk about and address. You know, we nip it in the bud very early. Our guys know pretty much for the last couple of days that we've been able to be together, you know, what is allowed and what's not allowed. And so we don't waver from those things, right? You know, we stand steadfast in what we believe in and what we're going to allow our program to look like and reflect. And it's going to be a program that speaks about integrity and character, which represents our institution in a really professional way. And then we're going to get a group of guys that reflect the type of style of basketball that we want to go out and play and perform at a high level. And so we've been able to do that in recruiting. We're excited about the guys that we have. We have several young men that are here from Memphis who we are raving about right now in Galvin Fitzpatrick and Justin Edwards.
Yeah.
And so, man, we're excited about those young people. And, you know, we're looking to have a really good year. But, hey, we're not going to put the end before the journey begins. We got work to do, and we're going to do our best to get to that level that we know we can reach.
Fitzpatrick comes from Whitehaven, doesn't he?
Yes, sir, he does.
I know. I saw a lot of Whitehaven this past season. Them Whitehaven, man, them my guys over there. Now, Coach, they got 2 minutes in my ear, so let's get some rapid fire if you're good with that.
For sure.
All right, so let's go rapid fire. Favorite road gym in the SEAC?
Clark, Atlanta.
Okay, I'm an Atlanta guy. You know, that's music to my ears. Born and raised in Atlanta. Well, I was born in Columbus, Georgia, but raised in Atlanta. So you know I love about Clark.
I can't leave out Tuskegee. They a tough environment too, but it's for players. You know, it's a fun environment to play in when you have the crowd of the opposite team that's really against you every possession.
So is that safe to say Tuskegee is the toughest place to play?
They probably would supersede Clark, Atlanta.
That was going to be my next question. Toughest place to play. Who's the best player you've ever coached?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot.
I had to.
I would much rather go from level to level.
Yeah.
Probably high school, it's a toss-up between Jeremiah Martin and Matthew Morrell.
Okay, Mr. Morrell, Ole Miss.
Yeah, in the college game, it probably would be, you know, you have Scottie Pippen, who I coached at Vandy. You have Kendrick Davis, who I coached here in Memphis. You have Aaron Naismith, who's with the Pacers, who I coached at Vandy. And then also, you know, you got David Jones, who's a beast.
That was my guy.
He was different. So, I mean, I could go on. So, you know, I love all those guys. I keep in touch with them as well.
Yeah.
But, man, you know, I don't really have a favorite because all of them are like, you know, sons and brothers to me. But, man, those 4 stand out for sure.
Now, this one's not sports related. What's your favorite Memphis restaurant?
Oh, man. Oddly enough, you know, I would have to say 4-Way, which is right down the street from LeMoyne.
I haven't tried them yet, but it's on my list.
See Miss Patrice, man. She does a phenomenal job, and I think she just won the best chicken tenders in the whole city. Okay. You know, and that's not what they're known for, oddly enough. But 4-Way is one of my favorite restaurants. Ching's, which is on Getwell, that's a favorite of mine as well. They have some good wings there. Really, really good wings.
It's starting to be small though.
Well, you know, hey, we're in the time.
It's like as big as my index finger.
Hey, listen, Mr. Lafayette probably is going to correct that once he see it, but
I hope so.
Ching's is a great spot, but there's a whole lot of them, man. You can't go wrong in Memphis with food.
Yeah. Now, last one before I let you go. If someone has never been to a LeMoyne-Owen game, why should they come this season?
I mean, the product is different now. You know, the environment is different, and what we're providing in terms of our team on the floor is something to support. It's a fun-loving environment in terms of our guys going out and competing. You know, we don't compete, we don't prepare, and we don't play based on our circumstances. We know we're up against some things that we can't control, but man, we have a group of guys, we have a program that is really thriving through trial and tribulation. And we'd like to say that, hey man, come out and support us this year. We need your support, and we're hoping to be able to kind of get to the next level than what we were last year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, we need to see more purple and black.
For sure.
I know this city is all blue with the Grizzlies and the Tigers.
When I come back, we got to get some purple and black.
That's what I'm saying,
man.
Coach. You see, we got our high school swag.
Yeah, I got to bring some LOC swag.
Exactly. Thank you. You can catch your first look at this year's Magicians during Magician Madness. Say that fast 3 times on October 17th. Y'all regular season openers on October 24th, correct?
That's right.
Against Fisk.
Yep.
Bruce Johnson Hall.
Yep.
Be there, Coach. Thank you.
Man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Wish you the
All
best.
right. Yes, sir.